everybody. We are live coming to you. It's not Thanksgiving yet, but we are recording this for a future episode, which we're going to post on Friday.
We have to post on Friday.
Yeah,
after
we have to post on Friday. So this is the Apple Byte Extra Crunchy with your host, Mr. Brian Tong.
Keeping it extra munchy. Hopefully your tummies are full of Thanksgiving turkey, cranberry sauce, and all that good stuff. But thanks so much for joining us. It's episode, believe it or not, Beach, 110.
Oh,
that's kind of cool.
It's actually 111. 111.
Oh, sorry. You're right. It is 111. I looked at the wrong number. I'm sorry. If you haven't realized it, everything I say is literally like there's someone on the side here hand typing things, and then I just say what they say.
I need that.
I know. Episode 111. Thanks so much for joining us. This is kind of our complimentary piece to the Apple Byte main show. And again, tons of news drops, so it kind of updates you with the latest. Also gives us a little more time to talk and freestyle about what is happening in the big stories. The thing is also, you guys and gals are a part of this show every week. You keep on bringing it for us, so call us at 1-800-616-2638. Leave your name, where you're from. I thought we had a lot of great commentary this week, so we've got some good calls. Also, my voice is a little rough because I was at Disneyland screaming all day yesterday and Monday.
Ah! How did it sound? You're like, ah!
If I scream again, my voice won't last for the show if I do that.
It does sound raspy. It does sound a little beaten up.
Hey, ladies. Ladies. All right, there are ladies that are listening. It's like two people just put their hands up. All right, Apple Byte Nation is Dude Nation. Let's get to the show. First up, we did start last week's talking about Time's 25 best inventions of the year. And so what they did is they then whittled down their list to the top 10 best gadgets of the year. So this is everything in the tech space. And I think it'll be just fun to kind of do a rundown from 10 to number 1. We will go quickly so you guys won't be like, okay, why are you wasting my time? Number 10, the Sony Alpha A7R3. Arguably really one of the best mirrorless cameras ever made now. If you ever played with the A7, this is amazing. Number 9, check it out. Apple Watch 3 LTE. Nice. You know that we've talked about how I've kind of really, it's finally a product worth getting that I can wholeheartedly be behind because of its evolution. I love that. Number 8, Xbox One X. 4K gaming, the most powerful console right now on the market, but it's not really being utilized because developers have to get to it. Number 7, Amazon Echo, 2nd generation. Very cool. Kind of revamped and more miniaturized. Number 6, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, the SNES Classic, that most people did not get.
Yeah, I did not get one. I could care less. Less.
Number 5, the Samsung Galaxy S8. People are going to debate that one. Number 4, the DJI Spark, their palm-sized drone from the masters of drones, DJI. Number 3, the Microsoft Surface laptop.
Wow.
The hybrid, not a laptop, not a notebook, just a little bit of everything. Love it. The number 2, what we all talk about here every week, the iPhone X, or, the iPhone 10. 10. iPhone 10 made it for number 2. And number 1, the number 1 gadget, according to Time, and whatever, how much relevance you put behind Time, that's up to you. Oh, wow. The Nintendo Switch was the number 1 gadget of the year.
That's pretty cool.
The only reason why I kind of, I don't know if it's number 1, but I think it's a top 3, the Nintendo Switch, is because although we've had the PS Vita and the DS before, this is like at least quote unquote console level gaming that's portable. And the fact that they have 2 ridiculous games this year with Mario Odyssey and Zelda, it's Breath of the Wild. I mean, that it does legitimize the fact. I still think a phone is going to be a better gadget than a game console.
Yeah, true. Yeah, because a lot more uses with the phone, definitely. I'm asking
iPhone 10.
Yeah, totally. But I've been asking for my wife for the Nintendo Switch. I'm like, I need that.
You need that, bro. So those are the top 10 best gadgets of the year. One of them on that list was the Amazon Echo. And who is chasing the Echo right now? It's Apple. Apple is chasing the Echo with the HomePod. Now, recently, I know you all probably heard or saw about the HomePod delay, right? Do you remember that?
Yeah, that's a big deal.
It just happened. It just dropped, I think, on Friday after our show. And basically, Apple gave us the spiel that it's not ready yet. We want to give the best product to our customers, so we're going to hold it back until early March. I did a whole kind of 8-minute rant about it just to talk about the HomePod, why it's really another misstep We had the AirPods that were delayed last year for the holiday season. They came out really more like December 13th. But by the time they were released, they sold out. They were on a 6-week waiting list if you ordered them from Apple until July of this year. So it was basically on a waiting list for 7 months, 6-7 months. So now they're doing the same thing, right? They have this, hey, we're going to have this new holiday product out. It's going to be the HomePod, but they're pushing it back as well. You can kind of see all the things I said about it in our Apple Byte episode, but it's not a good look for Apple, and they've done this 2 years back to back. And yeah, it's a bad Apple. It's a bad Apple. So then our buddies at Bloomberg, Mark Gurman, the man, right? He decided to kind of give us this whole backstory of really why is Apple's HomePod 3 years behind the Amazon Echo. And I think from day one, we have always talked about, people say, what is Apple's next thing? The Amazon Echo is the next thing, right? It has been the newest, hottest consumer platform, and it's been that for at least the past, 3 years ago it wasn't as understood, but now I'd say going strong for at least 2 years. Google has their Google Home product. Both of these are stellar in different ways. Both of these do things that, guess what, the HomePod's not going to be able to do. So I'm going to kind of paraphrase, and you can check out this great article of some of the things that happened with the HomePod. So this is kind of where it starts. Apple had been working with their audio engineers who wanted to create kind of a superior audio device, but they had 5 years ago, quite honestly, but they had been working on an early version of the HomePod speaker for about 2 years in 2014 when they were literally blindsided by the Echo smart speaker from Amazon. The Apple engineers even jokingly accused each other of leaking the details to Amazon because it was like, how could they be doing this? So they bought Echoes to take them apart, right? This is what other companies used to do for Apple. They buy their product, take it apart to see how they're put together. And what Apple did in classic Apple style, they're like, oh, the audio quality is totally inferior. We're going to make a better speaker. Because at the time, Apple's focus was, let's make an amazing speaker that sounds better than anything Sonos, Bose, Monster, all these companies. They wanted to make, again, kind of their own high-end speaker. Look, if you're a fan of audio and if you work for a company that will let you pursue these side projects, I'm happy to hear that they were able to pursue this. But here's the thing where they missed, right? It says in more than 2 years had passed, right? The Echo took off, became a hit with customers, integrated the voice, integrated new apps, the accessibility to it. It made it a killer product. Like, I still use my Echo today. I used it first. I bought it first. I have a home just to kind of use it as comparison, but the Echo is the center of my smart home ecosystem. And this is really where things fell off. Because think about this. Apple had all the ingredients to make an Echo-like product. They had Siri, like the first consumer assistant, before anyone else really did, right? I mean, Beach, you talked about how Siri, you were like, oh my gosh, this is so cool, right?
Siri was the first robot assistant I ever spoke to, and I was excited, and it was like, it was the future. It felt like the future. I was telling my phone to set alarms, timers, what's the weather, like all this kind of stuff. And now I'm talking to Alexa way more, right? Unless, my phone's right next to me or something. But yeah, Alexa has definitely come and taken over my house,
I'll use Siri to set like basic alarms or timers, but when I'm in the kitchen, I'm playing music through the Echo, I'm asking it to set timers when I'm cooking, I'm turning on the lights and off. It's become, in my brain, the assistant that I talk to. And again, Apple had Siri, Apple had the App Store. They could have tied all these things together, but they were focused because, I'm sure, guess what? There was no vision for it. They didn't know what other people were thinking. Normally, they set the bar for what people are thinking about. So they never had someone say, let's make a smart speaker. Amazon was doing that, right? And again, let's reflect that Amazon didn't have, at the time, a heritage or a history of being a consumer electronics device. Sure, they have the tablet and the Amazon phone they played with that, the Fire products. They aren't runaway successes, but they used what they had. They learned from it. They came up with the Echo, right? This is a company that's really an e-commerce company at its core.
Yeah.
And they came out with the Echo before Apple.
Well, the thing that's also really great about the Echo is that they made it affordable. It was like $100, not $350. Like the Echo Dot is $50 or $40 now. They're just making it affordable and easy for people to get and set up and use. And, you know, the HomePod feels out of reach for me. It's $350. That is a lot of money. You know, that's not just like a $50, that is a big investment for something that who knows how long it's going to last on your shelf, you know?
So here's also, and you're absolutely right, and here's also kind of some of the thinking that's detailed in the article. Again, the HomePod was cooked up as a side project for audio engineers that worked inside of Apple. All right, they were the Mac audio engineers. They wanted to create a speaker better than Bose, better than JBL, better than Harman Kardon and others.
And that sounds great. That sounds wonderful, you know? Like, I'm all for that, but they totally missed the boat on the AI personal assistant, you know?
And they had the lead by years. It wasn't even like, oh, they had a 6-month lead. They had a 1-year lead. They had the lead by years. So this is the thing. They were looking at this so much like an actual speaker. They even talk about how, you know, as they were building this speaker, they didn't want it to be a direct sound speaker. Their strategy was going to use this kind of anticipated technology at the time called beamforming, and basically it directs sound in different areas of the room in different ways by detecting where it's at, and then helps kind of create this 3D sound. That's what they were doing, right? So again, guess who has this? The Amazon Echo uses it a little differently. They use beamforming to listen to us talk to it, but things like the Google Home Max that is expected to come out by the end of this year, Sonos's smart speaker that has Alexa integration is also doing that as well, using beamforming. But now let's look right now at what Apple has in the HomePod and how it stacks up. Apple's HomePod has access natively to one service, Apple Music. Apple's HomePod also will not have, at least out of the gates, any type of third-party support. So, for example, if you ever have fiddled with Amazon's Echo and you want to find something, I've talked about this before, I like to listen to like white noise when I sleep, like the sound of waves crashing. There's apps.
Yes.
You could just look on the Amazon Echo app and be like, white noise or waves crashing. And there's one called like smooth ocean sounds or something like that. It's literally called that.
I use that every night.
You do?
I used to use an iPad, so I'd open up the iPad and I'd turn on white noise and then play like waves crashing.
Yeah.
But now that was a process. I had to go to my iPad, push a button, find the app, turn it on, find the sound. Now I just go, Alexa, start ocean sounds, and then it starts. Exactly. You know, it's like 10 times easier. So I'm sorry, I don't use my iPad. I actually deleted the sound effect off my iPad the other day because I don't need it anymore.
Yeah, and so you have all these third-party apps, thousands of apps that Amazon made accessible. So they have a better app community, they have better third-party support, they have more music services, and let's say their flagship product, I can't remember the price off the top of my head. It's around $170 right now, okay? Yeah. You guys can correct me later. But the HomePod isn't compelling enough. Even if you're an Apple user, it's only going to do some basic Siri tasks like, set reminders and timers. But it's so limited at $349 coming out of the gate. And all I'm going to say is that sound better blow me away. I know it's going to be better than the Echo. I know it's going to have better sound than the Home. And so people are really going to be buying this in today's day and age to have a speaker that is really, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it, the dumbest smart speaker that's coming out on the market. It's not a good thing.
Yeah, let me read you the music services that are on Amazon's Echo. Amazon My Music, which you have for free if you have a Amazon Prime account. Apple Music is there. Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, TuneIn. There's Sonos, Audible, Kindle. It's like there's just a massive list right here, and like 3 of them that I use regularly, you know. And then I'm going to get a HomePod and have Apple Music only, which I don't subscribe to. I'm sorry. You lost me.
So we'll wait. You know, this is not a dump. This is, again, real talk of what is happening. Don't say we're hating on Apple. Everything we've said is completely factual. It's just damn disappointing.
It is disappointing.
It's disappointing. And again, Apple isn't 1 year behind or 2 years behind. They're legitimately 3 years behind. They had another delay. It's coming in early 2018. Look, no one works during December, really. It's like kind of like in tech, you have extended vacations. People aren't going to be working to try and get this HomePod out in January. If I am wrong, you can spank me and give me a bad apple. but I'm expecting we're probably going to see something about the HomePod in March of 2018. And then it also makes me wonder, like literally when we look at what the HomePod has inside of it, I'm not saying I can do this, but it's not like it's a super complex product compared to what other smart speakers are doing out in the market.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, the sound quality is their big selling point, and they should have definitely taken that in a different direction, you know, focused on the AI personal assistant.
like, I will tell you right now, they do have a chance to wow us and wow me with sound quality, because I went to Google has 2 pop-up shops in the US, one in New York and one in Southern California off of Melrose Avenue. I went to that store and I listened to the Google Mac Home Max. It was a big speaker. It did not sound as full, like it didn't have as deep of a bass tone as I wanted in a speaker that size. Also, the touch controls on it, they were continuously reminding me it was a prototype. They're like, oh, it's a little sensitive, so don't touch here, don't do that. It'll get better when it's done. I'm like, okay, but you're showing this on a showroom floor, so I'm going to take it for what it is. From what I saw, the Google Home Max is not good enough from what I saw to be like, okay, it's going to be better than the HomePod. But again, the HomePod still has to wow. The HomePod still has to prove to me that it's even worth $350. Quite honestly, it's not going to replace my Amazon Echo. I don't even have a 2nd generation Amazon Echo. I probably should, just because I need to compare them eventually. But the HomePod can win in sound quality, but it's not going to win in app support, third-party support, or assistant support. And those are really the key reasons to use a smart speaker.
Yeah. I agree. Definitely
So
agree.
we're not pooping on it. We're just talking HomePods. If you guys and gals listening live want to tweet us at Brian Tong, I'll take a look at that. And maybe we can throw in your tweets at the end of the show when we get to the call. So before we do that, though, guess what? We keep the lights on because we have these amazing sponsors. So I'm just going to jump into it with our friends from Orbi. And I know you guys have heard about this company. Wi-Fi is something you don't really think about until you don't have it, or guess what? It's not working properly. You have videos that are buffering. You've got Wi-Fi dead zones when you roam around the house. Too many devices are connecting and slowing everything down. So with the holidays, there's always more people trying to get into your Wi-Fi, like family, friends are over. It's annoying. So when was the last time that you upgraded your Wi-Fi at home? I'm actually asking you, Steven. When was the last time you
I haven't for years.
Right?
Yeah, I
You
think I
might.
need to
Do
do
you
like
have,
a
do you even have a
firmware
5G?
update.
Do you have a 5G system yet?
I don't know. I gotta go
See?
look at that. I might need
Hey,
a firmware update or something.
802.11n. Are you on that train yet, bro?
No.
Anyways, if you just want better Wi-Fi everywhere, check out an award-winning Orbi Wi-Fi system from Netgear. Orbi is the simplest and smartest way to get super strong, fast Wi-Fi in every corner of your home. You have one Wi-Fi network. It's easy to install, and you can set it up in minutes, and then you and the family will be enjoying faster, more reliable home Wi-Fi from your basement to your backyard. So what are you waiting for? Change your Wi-Fi world and get an Orbi, that's spelled O-R-B-I, Wi-Fi system from Netgear for better Wi-Fi everywhere. Visit netgear.com/Orbi, O-R-B-I.
All right, man. I will do that.
Do it, baby. Check it out. All right, let's keep on jumping through the show. Other news that dropped in here during this short week and really towards the end of last week. New rumblings about the iMac Pro. Like, honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. It was kind of an afterthought that, oh, yeah, the iMac Pro is still coming this year. Like, this was their $4,999 behemoth of an iMac. And if you recall at the time, once they announced it, I was like, okay, that's really cool. You're making a super powerful iMac. And this also happened, after Apple had revealed, oh, we're going to start working on a modular desktop because that's what professionals want. Oh, yeah. And it also aligned up with the fact that, look, the iMac Pro is a reflection of how Apple completely doesn't understand their customers as much. The iMac Pro is going to sell to a specific market because of its form factor, and it's going to have server grade level processors. But it showed where Apple's vision was wrong. They're like, we're just going to make a crazy iMac Pro. Okay, well, here it is. I think people are going to buy it, but it's not going to be a consumer device. It's for the pros. But pros still aren't going to be happy with the iMac Pro. The pros are going to be like, all right, this is a stopgap because you missed the boat and completely ignored the Mac Pro and didn't know what you're doing. And now we have the iMac Pro that's supposed to hold us over for a year, maybe a year and a half. it's just it's a reflection of just how poorly Apple had thought out their professional strategy and thought this is really what pros wanted. So there are some cool news from the iMac Pro for people that are interested in it. One of them, we have developers that really kind of dig into code that kind of can reveal nuggets of what's going on. These guys that revealed so much about the iPhone when there was that leak of iOS 11 early on. You know, someone like Steven Troughton-Smith, Guilherme Rambo is another guy. They looked at some of the code and have been able to dig up that this new iMac Pro is expected to have a complementary A10 Fusion chip, right? The same chip similarly that is in our iOS devices. It will be supported with 512 megs of RAM and will give, although we don't know the full functionality of what this A10 chip will be capable of, it will at least appear that the chip will enable support for Hey Siri functionality, even, interestingly enough, this is kind of interesting, when the iMac Pro is turned off. Now, whether that means the iMac is asleep, I don't think it's when it's completely turned off, but maybe it is. I mean, in a weird way, I wonder if it was active in the background, you could say, hey, Siri, turn on my iMac. That would be kind of interesting and kind of cool, right?
That would be cool. So it's like like in a standby mode, like my PS4 does this. It goes into this weird standby mode.
Yes.
Which kind of annoys me because then I know it's drawing power. You know, it's like using electricity.
You see the orange glow on it.
Yeah. But that's interesting. So it's going to be listening to you all the time too. So you got a listening device in your house. But that's interesting.
I mean, you and I are, we both use Echo. I think most people now these days, it's like, if it makes my life easier, I don't care that everyone's listening all the time. There's very few people that are now, there are people that are saying, I don't want listening devices in my home. But I think it's a lot less now. It continues to get smaller and smaller. Those group of people that don't want listening devices. Our phone is a listening device. We have
yeah. And I'm pretty sure my Facebook app is listening to me and serving me ads when I talk about certain things.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
But yeah, I mean that's interesting. Like if you can wake up your computer, say "Wake up, computer" or something like that, and it turns on. I'm all for that.
Yeah, right. I know you're down with that. So
yeah.
What's cool is that there is a actual kind of custom OS specific for the A10 on the iMac Pro that has been revealed. It will be called Bridge OS. So that's what they were able to dig into and kind of reveal some of this interesting information. I thought that was pretty cool. Another thing iMac related is that according to more reports, the iMac Pro could feature something like a Find My iPhone type feature. According to bloggers, Pikes Universum, that actually were some of the first people to reveal the specs for this reported iMac Pro before it was officially announced by Apple. They're the ones that said, look, we expect to see Intel next generation server grade processors in an iMac Pro. They were the ones that called that out first. But they've also been able to find out that it looks like there will be some sort of advanced theft protection similar to the Find My iPhone service where it will know exact GPS location of your computer. So that's nice.
Yeah.
Just a little nugget about the iMac Pro. That is, again, $4,999 starting.
I do want one, though, because I love mine here at work. I do love it. I do.
As a work computer, if work's going to pay for it, hell yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah, please.
Right? Like,
yeah.
If you're in the professional industry of video editing, you want your company to buy you an iMac Pro. But you also still would rather have your company buy you a Mac Pro that's modular.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing, right?
That would be nice. So I could put some cards in it, do some other stuff.
All types of good stuff. Okay, we'll just kind of go through. There are some also future iPhone, we always get more news stories and nuggets about what's coming from the iPhone, what's coming next. A new report by Ming-Chi Kuo and KGI says that the 2018 iPhones, again, last week we talked about how they're expected to come in three sizes, a 5.8 and a 6.5, which will be OLED based, and a 6.1 inch that will be LCD based, with a lower pixel per inch density that I jokingly say blurry, but people took me seriously and said, dude, it's not going to be a blurry screen. It's like, there's a lot of, come on. Yeah, but
they're just they're worried. They're concerned.
But the people that get the joke are like, that's funny shit. Sorry.
My bad. Good. It's all good.
All right, so this news story from Ming-Chi Kuo And Digitimes is saying that the 2018 iPhones will feature an upgraded antenna design specifically to boost LTE transmission speeds. It will feature an upgraded liquid crystal polymer antenna modules that will help to contribute to faster LTE transmission speeds. The new phone models will use at least 2 LCP antenna modules, much like the iPhone 10 currently does, but with improvements to support the new 4x4 MIMO standards. And so I was like, okay, I've heard of 2x2 MIMO. Like, what exactly is that? Well, thanks to the power of our friend at Google, just so we can all learn here, although there's people that do know everything. 2x2 MIMO devices are devices with dual antennas and radios, so that allows them to communicate via 2 streams of transmission and reception of data and information. There are 3x3 MIMO devices, but these new antennas that are expected to be popped into the the 2018 iPhones will support 4x4 MIMO. So that's 4
nice.
streams to transmit and receive data, which will obviously help boost their effectiveness. And we've also heard there was a story about Apple talking with Intel and potentially the 2018 iPhones only using Intel modems, and that instantly kind of makes me cringe or like kind of a little like squeamish, because we know kind of the story in the background how in the iPhone 7 and the iPhone 10, some phones have Qualcomm modems, some phones have Intel modems. It has literally been tested and proven that the Qualcomm modems perform better. They support more bands, but also Apple and Qualcomm are going into this legal back and forth battle where Apple's saying Qualcomm charged too much for their modems. Qualcomm is saying you throttled our modems. So they basically hate each other. Okay. And so therefore Apple is looking to work with Intel exclusively, from what we have heard, with the 2018 iPhones. That remains to be seen. But to me, that would be that would hurt, because really we want the fastest tech in there. This is such inside baseball. That's exactly why people listen to this podcast. But I want I wish I could still have a Qualcomm modem in my iPhone 10, but I don't have it because I got an an AT&T/T-Mobile GSM phone, which is using the Intel modem, where the Verizon and Sprint phones do have access to the Qualcomm modems.
Huh. So is this the picture right here of the new 5G
that's just
modem?
It's just a picture. It's, the actual component. It's just kind of a fun marketing picture, Like, hey, it's a square that says the word Intel 5G modem.
So would this be like a case of like a company biting the hand that feeds them or something?
And wait, who's biting who though?
Like, is Apple biting Qualcomm, or is it Qualcomm? Yeah, they're biting Qualcomm.
I think Qualcomm has every right to be mad, but at the same time, Apple's a company, can't have 2 phones that are the same phone on the exterior and one performs significantly better than the other, right? Like, there's a cost. Apple is about, also, guess what? It's about margins, about costs. I'm pretty sure the Qualcomm modem is more expensive than the Intel modem. It also is a better performing modem. And if you have hundreds of millions of devices, it's smart not to rely on one single supplier, but you still have to pump out phones. You still have to give them to the people. And so throttling down one of the modems so that it can't reach its full potential in order to have a somewhat consistent result across your entire product line is something that they do have to do. I just wish it wasn't that way.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting.
Anyway, we'll see what happens with that. And then another small story about the iPhone, or at least Apple in general, working with new displays and screens, is that Apple is collaborating with its Taiwanese supplier TSMC. They make plenty of displays for Apple in the past, but they're working to solve manufacturing issues with kind of the next generation of displays called micro LED displays. What's different is they do have a lot of the same benefits as OLEDs, the deep true blacks. They're optimized to be energy efficient, wide color gamuts as well. The main thing about a micro LED display is the fact that it is actually thinner than the current OLEDs. It's even more energy efficient, but I got to expect that we'll see maybe the first indications. And we had heard rumors of micro LED displays potentially being used in Apple Watches in the future, but they're nowhere near even getting enough factories to build OLED screens other than Samsung at a large size. So I wouldn't see it coming anytime soon for like micro LEDs coming to an iPhone next year. No, I mean, that's got to be at least a couple of years out. So So there you go. Two other little quick just a couple other quick bullet points. Apple opened its visitor center on campus. Our CNET proper got to check it out. I have not yet been able to see it, but it has features like an Apple Store. It has this cool new architecture. You have like exclusive goodies that you can only get from the Apple campus. It's their new place that you can go visit. So they had a lot of cool stuff going on with there. So just check it out. We have a video up, and they had some neat stuff going with that. And then finally, before we get to our calls, this has to be the Apple executive boo-boo bad Apple of the week. Did you see the story, Beach, at all?
I don't think I have. Let me see.
Okay, so check this out. Last week, Apple's Tim Cook tweeted a congratulatory message to Australia on its same-sex marriage vote. So he tweeted it out, and then he tweeted out a flag, but that flag was actually the New Zealand flag emoji and not the Australian flag emoji.
Oh, man.
And you know that he heard from people. I am obviously not a flag expert, so I used this amazing tool called Google and found, like, the big difference really is that there's a large star on the Australian flag. It's the Commonwealth star. It's associated with Australia. That is there, but is not existent on the New Zealand flag. Also, the New Zealand flag has 4 stars on it that are 5-point stars. They're red with white outlines, whereas the Australia flag has 4 7-point stars and 1 5-point star on it. I'm just giving you guys some flag history.
I gotta Google Australia.
You know you're not gonna Google it. You're gonna Google Australia versus New Zealand flag, and you're gonna learn everything I just told you.
Okay, this is the Australian flag we're looking at here, and then New Zealand. Okay.
People that are listening are like, I don't see anything, bro.
They're like, I don't care. Well,
I know someone listening someone right now is. I literally know there's at least 5 listeners who are typing in New Zealand versus Australia flag right now.
I'm gonna have to
guarantee it.
I'm gonna have to forgive Tim Cook on this one because look at how similar they are. Look at that,
bro. Come on, everyone knows what the Australian flag looks like compared to the New Zealand flag. That's common sense.
Oh man, you're right.
That is common sense.
Shame on him. Just kidding.
Bad Apple. All right, should we get to the calls, man?
Let's do it. Thank you guys all for calling. We had a lot of great phone calls. We whittled it down to 5 because that seems to be a good number of calls to have. So here we go. Here's caller number 1.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Najim. I'm calling from Miami. I'm leaving a second message because the first one got cut off, but I wanted to talk to you guys about augmented reality and how I think Apple is spending way too much time and money on AR and ARKit and all these sensors that they want to put in the phones for AR. I first saw AR maybe like 7 or 8 years ago on the Nintendo 3DS when it first came out, and I thought it was the coolest thing in the world, but I got over it really fast. And ever since then, the best implementations of AR have been maybe Pokemon Go and Snapchat filters, and neither of those two things really required, 3D sensors or things like that. They maybe use image recognition, and that's about it. So I think Apple is a little silly for spending so much time on these sensors and research and whatnot to get AR into the iPhone, when, in my opinion, there are no big killer apps for AR, no real reasons to use it, in my opinion. What do you guys think? Do you think that there's a lot of potential in AR and that's why Apple is focusing on it? Or are you in my boat where you think it's a little overrated and a little bit of a gimmick? Let me know what you guys think. I love your show. Keep it up. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Hey, Beach, where do you stand with this?
I at first I agreed with him, but after thinking about it, I disagree. I think gaming, they're trying to corner the market on gaming. So having these 3D chips is going to allow you to, sense like a wall or a door or a piece of furniture or something. So then that will become an object in your AR world. I think they're aiming towards that. Like, I understand like the Snapchat thing's cool, but that just is modeling your face. Pokemon Go is kind of cool, but those things are just kind of randomly placed, right? So I think Apple is going in a good direction with this if they want to corner that market, but it's already, there's so many people already in that space. It's hard to say if they're going to make something really cool that's compelling. I don't know.
Yeah,
what do you think?
we've been able to get some hidden, some lucky gems from AR. I don't know if it's going to be the thing about it is if you think of AR and you think about it like in 10 years from now, obviously to me there's a lot of potential. This is a playground where you have to play in because as we've seen just historically, there's going to be technology platforms, whether it's hardware based or software based, that become the hot thing to do, and you have to try them and you have to see if it sticks, if it resonates. And sometimes a piece of technology is too young and then we see it take off way later. For example, like Microsoft had tablets way before Apple, like not even like a couple years, like 10 years before Apple did the iPad. And then all of a sudden, the right company at the right time with the right software happens to put it out there. And then all of a sudden everyone's like, oh, wow, tablets are actually worth like using. And now it's evolved where we're really starting to see more of a tablet laptop hybrid. I think with AR, to your point, I agree with you. We haven't seen many successes, but I think there's huge potential. And when I look at AR right now, 10,000 years, to me, it's like being able to wear glasses that show you information or even like your dashboard on your car with cameras that sense things. It's partially is gaming. That's probably going to be its easiest way to show how it can be successful to a consumer audience. But when I go past that, it can be in medical fields. It can be driving. It can be heads-up displays, some sort of glasses that not everyone will wear, but people will wear. And if it can become useful and serve amazing information that makes our life easier, then it will. But I don't even think we've seen maybe like 10% of what AR is capable right now. Just watch Minority Report. That's what I want to see. Give me Minority Report.
I want to be the Terminator and just like look around and identify things and
like see if a dude's leather pants and glasses match you, and then take them off his body and then wear them outside of a bar.
Yeah, I want to be able to identify threats and like it'll just say kill, and I'll be like, oh, I have to kill this person now. Okay, great.
We're gonna not take that out of context because then someone's gonna post a clip of you Beecham and say like Stephen Beecham is crazy.
I'm the Terminator.
So you know what? I don't know what other people think, but I'm still excited about it. But yeah, we haven't seen anything that says, yes, this is going to revolutionize my life. It hasn't yet. It's not there yet, but there are small steps to get to that point.
All right, next call. Thank you very much. Miami, I forget his name. All right, here we go.
Hey, this is Brian from New Orleans. I've had my iPhone 10 since launch day. Something I really like about it is actually Face ID. I really like just being able to swipe up, and I'm in my phone, don't even have to worry about positioning my thumb the right way. Something that I'm still getting used to is the added weight. I feel like my fingers are getting stronger from holding the phone. Yeah, I know. I guess I have wussy fingers, but I'm still getting used to that. Quick tip, I downloaded the Quick Clips app, and it would not work on my iPhone. Actually called Apple support and got kicked around to 3 different people. They had me back up, restore my phone. None of that worked. So finally, under system privacy settings and location services and system services, if you have compass calibration turned off, the Clips app will not work properly. So it took a couple phone calls and about 2 hours with Apple to get that figured out. So not sure if anybody else has compass calibration turned off under privacy settings, but if you do, turn it back on.
All right.
I mean, I would have probably tried to figure that out like him, but I don't use Clips.
When I first heard it, I was like, you spent like 2 hours on the phone to like use Clips, and he's probably going to use it once or twice, and be like, okay.
But he wants to use it because you know what? He's a fan of technology. That's awesome. That's awesome. It's just one of those things. Yeah. Like I stopped using Clips after it, when Apple came out the social media app Clips. Yeah, I tried. I'm like, oh, it's kind of fun, but I'll never use this. And I think they updated it recently and I'm still never going to use it.
Yeah. Okay, next call. Thank you for calling. Here we go.
They tried, though. They tried.
Hey, Beach and Tong, or possibly Brian and Tong. This is King calling from the Great White North. I just wanted to call in and let you guys know that the iPhone 10 bug with the cold weather before they just patched it in the latest update here was driving me absolutely bonkers. It's like minus 18 on the reg up here. And, the phone just wasn't working. You're catching the bus and you're not even able to change the volume on your phone. Pretty nuts. Anyway, the reason I'm actually calling in is I was hoping you guys might want to touch on why Apple Watch Series 3 has the limitation of not being able to roam in other countries. So right now, as I understand it, you can't take Apple Watch Series 3 abroad and use roaming, or if you're an American and you use your phone, your watch, buy it in another country, you can't take it back home and use it. So anyway, long story short, I'm just curious if you could touch on what you think the technical limitation is there, making it so the watch doesn't work while roaming. Anyway, thanks so much, Feature Tong. Going strong. Have yourself a good one. Bye-bye.
Great call. From what I gather, and this is off the top of my head, and I remember this even when Apple announced it, the eSIM technology is very new, but that's not really the reason why it doesn't work overseas roaming. Not all carriers are capable of supporting eSIM yet, and so because of that, you have specifically internationally too. You have, if you even look at which carriers and which countries are supporting the Apple Watch LTE version to work, it's pretty limited overall. It's not like every country is doing the Apple Watch Series 3 LTE. That's the LTE version we're talking about. So with the eSIM technology, not all carriers are supporting it. It's very limited outside of, I believe, US and did Canada recently? There were only, even with some of them, there's only one specific carrier that would support it in other countries. So that's really why they will get up to speed. But at the moment, that's the biggest reason why you don't see any roaming with the Apple Watch LTE specifically. It's just not ready to roll, and carriers aren't on board with support for it yet.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for that call from our friend from Canada.
Canada.
We got another call. Two more. Here we go.
Hey guys, this is Mark in Orange County, California. Question: I just bought an 8 Plus and love it. I'd like to be able to use the Lightning headset on various audio devices. I'm having a difficult time finding an adapter. So I want to know if you know of any adapter that goes from a Lightning female to either 3.5 millimeter male, a Thunderbolt male, or a USB male, so that I can actually use my headsets on more than just an iPhone. I love the show. Looking forward to the answer, and thank you.
He wants us to do some shopping for him.
No, I thought I actually had his answer, but he said Lightning female to 3.5 millimeter jack male. I thought he meant like Lightning male to 3.5 millimeter jack male, and I do not see anything. Like I don't see that.
It might not exist. But
yeah.
I like a Google search, what would it be? Lightning female
to male 3.5.
Yeah, if you put that in a Google search, something will pop up, and I'm not sure what it is. Yeah, or not. So we tried to help. We thought we could help, but it appears that we cannot help.
I'm trying to find part of the reason why that's also probably tricky is because typically, unless you find like some bootleg version, Apple charges a licensing fee to use their Lightning connection in a third-party accessory.
Oh wow!
Just saying. Okay, I was not able to help him. My bad.
Dongle me this. All right, here we go. Dongle problems. Last call.
Hi there. It's just Noah calling from Canada. Just wanted to share. I found a quick little trick on the Apple TV that I don't know if it's new but it didn't seem to be apparent. Anyway, if you double click the button to the right of the menu button, the TV button or whatever that is, it pops into like a multitasking scroll wheel. Anyway, other people find that useful. Thanks. Bye.
Cool.
I didn't even know that, honestly. I'm going to try that.
Try it out.
I'm going to check it out. We learn things from everyone all the time, so that's great. So, okay, bro, is that it? Is that going to be it?
That's it. We just have one more piece of business to take care of. And then
you're right. Should I
get out of here?
Okay, I'll let you play some nice, fun, fancy music.
There we go. It's playing.
All right, let's check this out. Again, thanks to our friends at Orbi Wi-Fi. It's something you don't think you really need or you don't really think about because we're so jaded by it, but you don't only think about it when you don't have it or it's not working properly. You got your video buffering, you got your Wi-Fi dead zones. Everyone home for the holidays is fighting for your Wi-Fi. So remember, think about it. When did you last upgrade your Wi-Fi at home? Stephen Beecham hasn't done it in a long time.
Yes, long time. Need to do it.
So if you want just better Wi-Fi everywhere, check out an Orbi Wi-Fi system from Netgear. With Orbi, you'll enjoy super strong, fast, and more reliable whole home Wi-Fi from your basement to your backyard. From the windows to the walls.
Hell,
I added that part. Change your Wi-Fi world. Get Orbi, that's ORBI Wi-Fi system from Netgear, visit netgear.com/Orbi. That's ORBI. Boom shakalaka. All right, take care, everybody. We'll see you guys next week. Remember, enjoy the holidays with your friends, family, loved ones, the people that matter. You can also call us at the number to be a part of this show like everyone does, 1-800-616-2638. Until then, Beach, I'm good.
All right. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Well, no, Thanksgiving already happened.
It already happened. You're right. It did happen.
All right, guys. Have a good weekend. Happy Black Friday. Go get some toys. Go get some toys.
Oh, I got one in my living room right now, homie. Get ready.
Nice. Nice.
All right. Take care, everybody. Be safe. Peace.